Welcome to the RCM Ladder. We dive into career development and growth for revenue cycle professionals, helping you level up your career one episode at a time. This episode of the RCM Ladder is brought to you by our good friends at the Health Exchange. They are building an awesome community of revenue cycle professionals with the knowledge, insights, and resources needed to navigate the ever-changing landscape of healthcare reimbursement. The team at the Health Exchange have awesome content and events tackling everything from denials management to revenue integrity, patient access, and the importance of leveraging RPA or AI in your operations. The content is so useful, so smart, so impressive, so collaborative. Honestly, it makes us jealous. So go check them out now, right now, and then come back to us. You can find them at healthexchange.io. That's HEALTHXCHANGE.io. And now on to this week's discussion. Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to this week's episode of the RCM Ladder. My guest is the one, the only Lisa Layton, the manager of patient access for BAMF Health. Hey, Lisa, thanks for joining the show. Appreciate you making the time for us.
Excited to be here. Thank you.
So, Lisa, I think we'll look to start here just a little bit about sort of your responsibilities at BAMF, and then a little bit about BAMF itself, because it's a unique provider. One thing that struck me almost immediately was how much love you have for the organization. It was clear you were very proud of working for them. I'd love if you could share with the audience who you guys are and what you guys are up to.
My role here at BAMF Health is the manager of patient access operations. That is everything from patient registrations, referrals, to scheduling of patients, and encompasses all of the prior authorizations for treatments and imaging. And we recently brought all of our billing in-house. So now that also includes the entire process for revenue cycle, from claim management, claims, denials, all of the ER portion as well. BAMF Health itself, we are precision medicine. We have a molecular imaging clinic with a total body PET CT, Michigan's only total body PET MR machine. We also can do standalone MRI, CT scans. We also have a molecular imaging clinic where we are doing treatment with Pluvicto and Lutathera, Xofigo. We also have a radio pharmacy, and we do a lot of clinical trials here as well. BAMF Health is one of the best organizations that I have worked for. It's rooted in precision. It's not just a priority, it's a necessity. That's what sets us apart. Our patients that come here, they don't want to leave. So that, I think, is a true testament to what BAMF Health is, but also everyone who works here is here for that right reason. We're just excited to be here in West Michigan and serving all of the people in West Michigan. Our patients come to us from all over the state of Michigan. We've had patients across the country who come here for that precision medicine. We're just doing what we know to do best and serving as many patients as we can here.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's so cool. And just from the sounds of it, it's like a very different sort of provider organization, but sounds like you guys are just doing fantastic work for your patients in the community at large. So, Lisa, I want to start again, like when we were talking about the show, you made this comment that I thought was really interesting, which is you didn't have a traditional college degree like most RCM leaders. Can you talk about your unique journey and how that has made you successful in RCM? Sometimes you think you might need a traditional college degree, but sometimes it's overrated. I would love to hear about that journey for you. Let's start there.
It's true. Like I said, I don't have a bachelor's degree in, health information management or accounting, business administration. I always worked in healthcare. My first job at 15 years old, I was working in a nursing home. And that really just developed my love for working with patients from a very young age. However, I knew the clinical side was not for me. There's certainly bodily fluids and things I can't handle. So I wanted to work in the healthcare field, but not necessarily in a clinical role. So straight out of high school, I went to our Grand Rapids Educational Center, which was a trade school for medical administration. I received a diploma in medical administration and then started working in our local hospital right away in our health information management department. From there, I moved into insurance and utilization management for another facility in Grand Rapids and worked in every aspect of patient access or revenue cycle, from registration specialist to receptionist, and then also working very strongly with prior authorizations for our urology group. And from there, that's where I really delved into the claims, fighting for claims that were medically necessary and denied for the wrong reasons. I also went back and did some teaching at the same trade school that I went to. So I taught billing and coding and medical administration there too. Being able to share those passions with students who are either excited for this world or unsure, it was really rewarding to be able to share that with with students who are new to that. I saw the same excitement. And then I also saw the change in the mental attitude that some students had. That was a really rewarding part, to be able to relay that to students, but also still practice it in the real world for real patients.
That's incredible. I love that you're also giving back to those students. I think it's hard when you're starting your career. Experience is the best teacher.
Absolutely.
At least for me personally, I say that. I also have a traditional college degree because I didn't know what else to do. I'm going to go to college. But I do think when I look back at my career, nothing I learned in college actually prepared me for what I am doing now in some ways.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, I would imagine being at that age and having seen someone come back to be successful and impart what you know to help them see a possible future for themselves that is maybe not, I think no one probably grows up being like, oh, I really want to be like a revenue cycle professional. It's not the first obvious role.
Yes.
I'd love to hear what that experience going back to teach kids has meant to you and your career.
I think it's being able to share real life experiences, like you said, the things you learn actually doing the work that isn't in a textbook. Everybody can look at a coding book. We can look at an anatomy and physiology book, but being able to relate to real life situations and the things we deal with, whether it's in a large hospital system, a private practice, a urology office, or family care, being able to share the impact you can have on a patient's experience is probably the most rewarding thing anybody could do. It can truly make a difference in somebody's attitude on the path they're going to take once they get this diploma. There's so much they can do, and being able to share the experiences I've had and the multiple roles I've held helps them focus. It helps them be determined to be successful and to continue and actually know they're going to make a difference.
When you talk to them, are there certain skills or advice that you encourage them to develop? And I'd love to hear specifically for you, like, what are the things that have made you successful? Are there certain skills or things you've developed that have made you successful in this career?
I think the biggest thing is we never stop learning. I've been in the healthcare field for 25 plus years, and I'm still constantly learning. Being able to ask questions even when they're uncomfortable, and asking questions of people who are superior to you, whether it's executive leadership, the physician, or your medical director, always being able to support your needs is an incredibly important skill, whether you are in revenue cycle billing, requesting a prior authorization, or just trying to make sure you enter this patient's insurance correctly. Knowing what questions to ask and to confidently ask those is definitely a skill that I encourage all of my students to do. Just before meeting with you, I was meeting with our radiation safety officer, going over our pregnancy policy to make sure that it's clear for those who need to challenge insurance companies for certain tests that we're billing for. I think always learning is one of the biggest things, having that drive to be successful and never being satisfied with where you're at. And that's not to say that somebody who is in a reception role, that is their perfect job and that's where they want to be and they're satisfied there. That's great. I support you 100%. We need those people who are happy with where they're at. But challenging yourself is also something that will help you be successful in the RCM world.
I love that. It's like the ability to learn. Honestly, I don't know how you revenue cycle professionals stay on top of insurance changes, regulation stuff. It is mind boggling the amount of information and things that need to be accounted for to do the job well. And that's on top of just like the detail oriented to like put insurance information in correctly so it doesn't cause downstream
Absolutely.
negative impact.
Yes.
It's amazing. Certainly learning the ability to ask questions, just an interesting skill to learn. Personally, like I find I've become much better at, and I always crouch it. I'm like, can I ask a dumb question? Because I don't want to come off as that person. It's almost like the confidence to make yourself vulnerable. There's a vulnerability that goes into like the ability to like ask a question where there's tremendous pressure to like always be right. There's tremendous pressure to like be an expert and to be vulnerable enough to be like, I actually don't know this. I need to ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
Are there things you have you done to get comfortable with being able to ask questions? Or is that something you've always been good at?
I have not always been good at it. If there's attention on myself and I'm in the spotlight, I really struggled with that. But the teaching part of it really is what pushed me. Some of our students were fresh out of high school, so they're used to being in a classroom setting and asking questions when they didn't understand something. But some of my students were older than I were. They were single moms who were going back to school to get a better job and hadn't been in a classroom setting in, many years. And it was out of the norm for them to ask questions when they didn't understand something. Like you said, you're vulnerable and, you don't want to seem uneducated, even though you're taking a class to better your education, that you have to push yourself to do. And I've had to do that myself. If I hadn't asked questions, I wouldn't have learned. I wouldn't have been able to move past something. I think some people just get content with the knowledge that they have and don't challenge themselves to ask those questions.
Yeah. Oh, that's incredible. You also mentioned having that desire or the ability to consistently challenge yourself. I'm curious for you, what are some of the ways that you are challenging yourself right now at this phase of your career?
Every day is truly a challenge, especially with bringing all of our billing in-house. Every day is a challenge, but it's something that not only myself, but everybody here at BAMF Health, we are pushing the boundaries of what's impossible versus what's just really hard and what can we push through. I think being driven to be the best we can be for those who need us most is what kind of helps me every day. That's true for our physicians, our nurses, medical assistants, to our physician liaisons and our scientists. So yes, there's challenges every day, but I think, when you choose to make a difference every day, those challenges make it worth it. I practice gratitude. I'm thankful for the things that go right. I'm thankful for the things that do challenge me and push us to be better and do better. But also, I think, starting your day with an intention, your intentions to help and stay focused, they align you with your goals that you have in place. And at the end of the day, reflecting on what went well and what didn't go well and what can we personally do to make those challenges a little bit easier to conquer.
I would love to repeat this for people listening because that's gold. It is about having the right mindset, the right frame of mind, which I do think you can kind of choose. People can make that choice, set an intention every day, practice gratitude, which is sometimes, I am a angry Bostonian, so practicing gratitude can be very challenging for me, but very important. And then sort of reflecting at the end of the day, those three things make a huge difference in their day. Have you always done that? When did that become part of your daily?
When I
have it in
And
practice?
leadership. That's really, truly where I started to practice those three fundamental things, because challenges are everywhere in our work life and our personal life. I think when you focus on those three things, it makes those challenges easier to work through. Some
Yeah.
challenges take longer, and some challenges we're still working through and we still haven't resolved. It helps your mindset when you look at challenges and how you choose to tackle those challenges.
How do you, in practice, are you taking 30 seconds throughout the day? Are you like writing in a note on your phone? How do you actually do this in practice? What are you doing to mentally reinforce these three things?
And it depends day to day. Some days
Yeah.
I'm in meetings all days, and sometimes it is just taking a mental 30-second break, deep breaths. Sometimes for me, it's walking down to the first floor where our imaging clinic is and saying hi to our receptionist and seeing patients in the waiting room and just saying hi to the nuclear medicine technologists and seeing how their day is. And same thing, our second floor where our molecular therapy clinic is. You know, Reconnecting with everybody that's in the clinic space helps me make sure that I'm thankful for what I do have, and reflecting on the things that we have accomplished already here. We just opened July of 2022. So we haven't even been open for 2 full years. And being able to walk and see those things is really eye opening and helps with that gratitude. So it just depends on the day. I'm not a big one to journal, but taking some time out for yourself to breathe, reflect, and acknowledge what you have is important every single day.
That's amazing. It is an underrated skill. I would say like that sort of being in that headspace to do that is I would say a very underrated skill, very underappreciated, often not talked about. So I'm glad you brought that up. I would encourage everyone to do that. I'm very curious for you, what are some of the hardest things about working in revenue cycle?
I think one of the biggest challenges are the constant changes with payers, the regulations, the coding. Payers are constantly updating their policies. We have codes that we bill regularly, and there's codes that have never required prior authorization, and now effective May 1st, they do. But it's a challenge to stay on top of all those payer rules and regulations, coding changes. It's just a constant awareness that we have to have. And we owe that to our patients to make sure that we stay on top of those, not just for our company and a business, to make sure that we're bringing money in, but to our patients. We really take it to that personal level to make sure we're doing the best that we can so they don't have these surprise out-of-pocket costs, these denials. They can continue their treatments. They can get the scan that they need. I would say that is definitely one of my biggest challenges, just the constant changes we endure in the revenue cycle world.
It is such important work, and it's like such hard work because like it does have like a huge impact on the patient. Not everybody, I think, is very cognizantly aware. I mean, you are if you're in revenue cycle, but like outside of revenue cycle, yeah. So, Lisa, I'm curious how you're thinking about your career arc. You obviously love where you're working. The passion for what you do shines through. How are you thinking about that next phase? Do you have a vision for where you want your career to go? Are you thinking about that or just appreciating the ride?
Definitely appreciating the ride, and being in BAMF Health, our goal is to expand nationwide. We are working to build another BAMF Health in Michigan right now, but being able to be a part of a nationwide corporation and being the first one to put into place some billing policies that we have, growing and being able to reach more people. I think that's where I'm just excited to stay with BAMF Health and reach more people and provide more service across the nation and then eventually even globally.
Well, that would be a huge undertaking.
Absolutely.
I love that ambition. So that's great. Lisa, do you want to transition and play the lightning round? This is my favorite part of the show because I just ask the quick questions. But for those listening, the lightning round, we ask a series of questions. First answer is the best answer. We try to do these rapid fire. All right. So number one, what's the most important metric that you measure that gives you the most anxiety?
Right now, I would say net days and accounts receivable.
What's the biggest goal you want your team to achieve in 2024?
I would say internally optimization within our revenue cycle department. That's one of our biggest goals. We had a third party doing all of our billing for us. So now that we are fully owning that, it's truly optimization within our revenue cycle department.
That's going to be a good difference for you guys, kind of owning that. And number three is, what's something you wish people would talk more about when it comes to revenue cycle?
One of the biggest things that I share, whether it's somebody that I'm interviewing, hiring, or teaching, is I wish people talked more about the connection and the involvement within the clinical team, not siloing the revenue cycle, having a connection and an understanding of the services that are provided, help you better understand, be prepared to have those discussions with not only the payers, but the patients too. Revenue cycle is just as important as the physician seeing the patient. They can have a great experience from the moment they walk through the door to seeing the physician, but the back end is a nightmare. It's going to ruin that whole patient experience for them. And we don't want that. So I don't think people talk about revenue cycle as a part of a patient experience.
No, not often. And they should. It's equally as important in so many ways, the way that you just laid out. So if you'll indulge me, question 4, it's the last one, but I like this one too. What's your professional superpower?
I can relate to just about anybody.
I think in a healthcare setting, a lot of different people from a lot of different walks of life,
Absolutely.
patients walking through the door, all of that. That's a really good one. All right. Well, you survived the lightning round.
Right.
For people who want to work with BAMF Health, if they want to join the revenue cycle team, are you guys hiring? Do you have open roles? Where could people go to learn more about working with the BAMF team and yourself?
We are not just Rev Cycle, but our whole BAMF Health team is hiring. You can go to our website, bamfhealth.com. There's a career section where you can introduce yourself and upload your resume. Whether we have an open position or not, we do actually utilize that space when we have an upcoming, opening. Right now, we're hiring for more of our imaging clinic, a radiology manager, nuclear medicine, CT technologists, MRI techs, quality and regulations. We are always growing. That career section is constantly being updated. And again, there's an introduction part you can click on, introduce yourself, what you're looking for, what your experience is, upload your resume. And it's nice to have that bank of resumes to review when you have a job opening. You already know this person's interested in what we're doing here at BAM.
That's awesome. Incredible, because they want to work for, it's not a specific role. They're passionate about the work that is being done.
Absolutely.
Lisa, this has been a fantastic conversation. Thank you so much. I walked away with 10 good nuggets for my own career. If people want to learn more and connect with you, LinkedIn, Facebook, where's the best way for someone to find you?
That's great.
Yeah, awesome. We will drop a link to your profile in the comments so people can easily find you. Lisa, thank you so much. This has been a wonderful conversation. I'm so glad we did this.
I am thankful for your time. Always happy to discuss revenue cycle and the differences we're making for people.
Hey, everyone, take care. Have a great week, and we'll be back soon.
Thanks.